Yeah, my sister, excuse me, my sister lives in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I don't really want to live there. Fort Wayne doesn't excite me. Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, cities that big in the West are kind of dangerous. You know, I don't feel like Saigon is anywhere near that dangerous. Uh, I think a small town is probably the best for me. Uh, it's a depressed area, you know. It's cheap to live in Indiana, in that area, but there are not a lot of jobs. I have family in some family in Ohio, and I have some family in Indiana, right there near the border. And that's where I'm from. I'm having a look at the map now. Maybe Van Wert, Ohio, maybe Salina, Ohio, something like that. Uh, what about my Vietnamese wife, you know? She's so little. She can get a license to drive, but she's so tiny. She's not even 5 feet tall. So I know she can drive, but I don't know how she can drive, but she can drive. I mean, she will be able to. She never drove a car in life, but put some pillows under her or something. Get a really small car. I don't know. Yeah, none of these little towns really excite me too much. But it looks like that's my future. Not as exciting as living here in Saigon teaching English, but I'll get to drive a car around instead of a motorbike. Have to pay for it too. The motorbike is cheap. There was an American who was sentenced to 3 years in prison for killing a woman. He was drinking and driving on a motorbike and hit her lady on a bicycle. That's easy to do because, you know, there's ladies on bicycles everywhere here. You really shouldn't drink and drive. I don't know. I'll probably live in an apartment somewhere in a small town. But, you know, apartments are hard to find in a small town. Oh, I don't want to deal with it. Utilities are expensive in the West. Utilities are not very expensive here, really. My mobile data is only $20 a year for my phone here. In the West, it's going to be a whole lot more than that. And, yeah. Car insurance, gonna have to pay car insurance. You could get a car here and drive in Saigon, but it would drive you nuts. I wouldn't want to do it. For one thing, the liability would be too much because of the way, you know, the motorbikes drive. You just have to see for yourself. It wouldn't be worth it to drive a car here, probably. And driving a motorbike here is dangerous. It's real dangerous, and eventually, I think if you drove a motorbike every day around, eventually it's going to catch up here in Saigon. Too many things can happen, and these guys, they shut their motorbikes off in traffic. You know, if they're sitting at a light, they shut their motorbikes off. Not me. I leave mine running in case I need to get out of the way. You never know here. I don't want to pay utilities back in the West. I've told this story before. One time when I was living in my brother's apartment, he had a tattoo shop in my hometown, and he had an apartment above it. And I went there to live for a little while. And my first month I was there, I got like a small water bill, and it was adjusted, in a couple dollars. And the next month they sent me a water bill for like $1,000. My water bill was $1,000 because my toilet was it was running, it was trickling, which I shut it off pretty much all the time. A couple times I forgot, went to work for 12 hours. And so they sent me a water bill for $1,000. And I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that crap. That's the way it is in the West, Anything can happen there in that place. You just never know. I'll be totally honest with you about these, the Spygate scandal and stuff. I see William Barr is supposedly investigating these spies, these deep state spies, right? And everybody says indictments are coming down. Maybe so. But I personally, if you want to know my opinion, it doesn't work like that in the West, and nobody on the left is going to go to jail. They might get, maybe they'll get censored or something by Congress. Will say, don't do that no more, and that's going to be it. That's going to be it. They're not going to send anybody on the left to jail. Probably not Comey and McCabe and Peter Strzok. Don't count on it. And Greg Craig is probably not going to jail. Notice they didn't have a perp walk for Greg Craig. He's probably not going to jail. They didn't raid his house at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like they would yours. Guarantee they would yours. And they'd take everything you got, and you'd be the biggest son of a bitch on the planet, and the media would tell everybody about it, and they'd tell the whole story and how it all went down. And if it was you. That's the way the West works, At least 2 tiers of justice, at least 2. And, it's bizarro clown world most of the time in the West. And all Western nations are the same, so. What are you going to do about that? I don't really expect things to get better. There's nobody trying to fix problems in the West. They're not trying to fix them. Every single problem just leads to more political power for somebody. They have legislation waiting, when there's a shooting. Kind of figure there'll be another big shooting, another big event, because they got legislation waiting in the wings for that. Kind of know which direction things are headed in the West. So it'll be fun. Come back there and join in the fun. I guess that's why I've been giving out my opinion on YouTube recently, because I know they're going to try to take it away in the future. Nobody will have an opinion that is not in line with the mainstream. And quite frankly, this whole thing is all about the 2020 elections. I can predict, and I'll tell you right now, it's going to be off the charts crazy in 2020. And that's why I think they'll silence everybody. They're already doing it, and so they'll finish it off. By the time the 2020 elections rolls around, it'll probably be illegal to be white in the West. And I'm not kidding. They'll probably make Trump illegal and take him off the ballot in every state. You can expect another deep state. They'll repeat all the stuff that they did before. It won't be Obama in there doing it. It'll be coming from another country or something. There'll be shenanigans. Okay, there'll be all kinds of illegal stuff, and the media will be in on it. You can expect it. You can count on it. I've been paying attention to the presidential elections since I was about 18 years old. I noticed that how, after every presidential election, there was all these news stories that would trickle out about the fraud and the, ballots found in a taxi cab and voting machines in this warehouse over here. And that would come out for months after, especially after presidential elections. And you could just see the progress. It just gets more intense and more intense, and it's not going to get any better. there's no way. People in the West are propagandized, polarized, and everybody's politicized, and everybody's being charged up and gaslighted, to. I guess they're going to try to make everybody fight. I don't know. Problem, reaction, solution. There's always a solution. There's always a reaction. And there's always a problem. Always.